If you are trying to save your marriage and you are trying to stop the prospect of divorce, you have come to the right place. Hey guys, my name is Danny and I'm your life and relationship coach. And obviously, based on what I just said, this video is going to be around trying to stop divorce, trying to save your marriage. Now, first and foremost, I completely understand how difficult this can be and I empathize with you. I know this is not an easy road. I know that when you're in the thick of it, it just feels like there's nothing that you can do, right? You feel like you've tried everything you can and it just does not seem to be working. You feel like you have spent countless amounts of money on counseling, on products, on all these different things to try to save the marriage, and it just doesn't seem like it's working. The hopelessness, right, is what really kind of gets us in this place where we are unable to navigate the situation itself. We are unable to see the potential for progress or the ability to save the marriage. But it's a matter of mindset, right? It's a perspective. And for me, what I have come to find in these situations is the potential for divorce is actually a blessing in disguise. Now, I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but the reason for why I am saying that is because oftentimes, if you have gotten to a point in the relationship where divorce is on the horizon, it is because there have been issues within the relationship for an extended period of time that have just not been resolved. And maybe you have been too distracted, right, with life, with other priorities, with the routine of things, stresses from work, family, friends, whatever the case may be. The reality of the situation is the relationship took a back seat. And it took a back seat for such a long time that there was a disconnect between you and your spouse, between you and your partner. And all of a sudden, you've had a bucket of cold water thrown in your face, and now the prospect for divorce is staring you dead in the eyes. You're awake now. You recognize that there have been mistakes that have affected the relationship, that have caused the breakdown of the relationship, and now you are willing to save the marriage. Now you are willing to invest the energy and the time. And look, for your partner or your spouse, I understand how upsetting and frustrating that can be, right? Because why now? Why now? Why now that I have told you that I want a divorce, are you willing to fight for the relationship? Forgive yourself. The first thing that you have to do is forgive yourself, right? Because we are all human beings. We all make mistakes. We all process things differently. And maybe it took this for you to realize the severity of the situation, for you to appreciate the relationship, for you to look at your partner and say, holy shit, where have I been this entire time? So forgive yourself. Because if you do not, you will continue to beat yourself up throughout this process. And the more you beat yourself up, the less confidence you will have to actually be able to successfully win your partner back and prevent getting a divorce. So, the first thing that you have to do, besides forgiving yourself, is choose to act. Do not waste any more time, right? We oftentimes get in this kind of place of, okay, I know that I have to act, but I don't really know what to do. So you start to read as many articles as you can. You start to research, how to save your marriage, how to reattract your partner. And we get stuck in this place that I like to call analysis paralysis. You are over analyzing everything, but you are not taking action. Stop, put the book down, put the research down, close the Google page, and act. And how do you act, right? How do you start to actually fix the marriage? The first thing is communication. Communicate with your partner or your spouse. And if you are not the best at communicating, I completely understand how terrifying that can be. But the reality of the situation is that you have to open the lines of communication. You have to call out the elephant in the room. And no matter how painful that may be, and no matter how awkward that may be, it is necessary for you guys to start to bridge the gap. Now, if again, as I mentioned, if you feel like you are not the strongest at communication, we can help you with that. I can help you with that. I've actually created a specific product in regards to communication. And it goes over the fundamentals of communication and how to resolve conflict. So if you feel like you need a little bit more assistance and a little bit more help with that, I would highly recommend that communication product. And you can actually find it in the product section of our website. The website is www.happily committed.com. Go ahead and go over to that section and check it out. I guarantee you it will change the way in which you view communication and how you actually communicate with your partner. The third thing is self-care, right? And this is one of those things that a lot of people have issues with, right? Because it almost feels like this hippie-ish existential, you have to work on yourself in order to fix the I get it, but it is true, right? Because if you do not invest in yourself, if you do not try to build yourself back up, if you do not take the time to be introspective and really reflect on your behavior and your part in the breakdown of the relationship, you're never going to get to the root of the issue. And you're literally just going to be scratching at the surface the entire time. And that is why it feels like you are going around in circles and circles and circles because you are not getting deep enough. So invest in yourself, right? Invest in therapy if you feel like you have some emotional things that you have to get through. Invest in a coach if you feel like you need strategy in order to really be able to position yourself in the best way possible so that you can fix the marriage. Do whatever you have to do, but make sure you are spending time with yourself. The other part of this is letting go of past hurts, right? And I know that's easier said than done. I understand that. But if you are holding on to resentment, if you are holding on to things that happened years ago, you're never going to be able to get past that pain, right? You're never going to be able to actually forgive your partner and move on from that situation in order to start to rectify and repair the relationship. So how do you do that? That is for you to sit down and really think about that situation and whether it is a priority right now in your relationship. Does it impact and affect your relationship right now? And if it does not, let it go, right? If that is something that affected you years ago and you just held onto it and internalized it, that's you. That's you holding on to that, right? That's not your partner anymore. And if they've actively made the changes and they've actively shifted their patterns of behavior and you're still holding on to that, then that's something for you to reflect on and something for you to consider whether you want to hold on to that anymore. The last part of it is prioritizing and setting a goal together. Now, this can be a little bit tricky, right? Because if your partner is at a point where they're just like, look, I don't want to do this anymore. I've tried and I'm giving up. You're going to have to take the reins. You're going to have to take a lot of that responsibility in order to really take control. And that means having conversations with your partner. That means communicating with them. That means telling them, hey, look, I know that I messed up. I know that there are things that I did. I know that I have not been giving the time and the energy into this relationship. Allow me to do that. I am not asking for you to invest a ton of your time into this because I know that you have already tried, but just give me the opportunity to show you how serious I am about this situation. And whether that means there is a period of separation, whether that means there is time that your partner needs in order to reevaluate and consider whether they want to, listening to what they have to say is incredibly important, right? Respecting their wishes is incredibly important. And that is you prioritizing time together. That is you having conversations with your partner and saying, hey, this is what I would like to see. This is what I feel needs to happen. What is it that you feel needs to happen, right? And potentially trying to carve out some time in the week, in the month to sit down and have these emotional check ins so you feel like you're starting to get on the right page. If you like this video, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below. I love to interact with you guys. So if you have any comments, if you feel like I missed something, if you feel like you've been in this situation before and you can relate, drop a comment down below. I read as many as I possibly can, and I also try to respond to as many as I possibly can as well. Maybe you feel like you just need a little bit more information, right? You want more detail. You can visit us at www.happilycommitted.com, where we have a multitude of different articles and blogs and videos related to this subject and many other subjects as well. If you feel like your situation is very specific, right? It's very particular. You feel like you're at the end of your rope. You feel like there's potentially no hope. I would be more than happy to support you through this process. You can book a one-on-one coaching session with either myself or any of the other amazing coaches on the team via the website as well. Again, my name is Danny. I'm your life and relationship coach. I hope you're staying happy and healthy, and I'll see you soon.